Hey guys, and welcome to a little bonus video. I have no idea what I'm doing the second channel, and I did want to go and touch on this because I feel like the next 2 or 3 days would be a lot of really big VTuber drama. Now I'm gonna, I guess, try to go and maybe calm some people down. One thing I've seen on my YouTube comments has actually been that people have been very nice and supportive and somewhat listening on both sides. And I actually do want to say I really appreciate the YouTube end. But as we've gone on other platforms like Twitter or a Reddit, whatever it might be, people have lost their marbles a little bit more. And right now we're going to go and showcase up where RimaEvenstar, who I've never actually had a chance to watch the content of or is familiar with, like for myself, show hi to them. But for me, they actually had some kind of crazy viewers. And this is all in regards now to NANOLESS, which was actually in their stream discussing kind of partially the SINDER drama. Now, as you guys know, this entire situation has been, well, very heated. But I do want to go and try to make it, try to bring some people back, try to reel some people back, and especially now with SINDER returning to Twitch, I do think the, well, back and forth kind of VTuber personality cults, well, I might ask a little higher. And while that might be entertaining to talk about, in theory, don't forget these are real people, and it seemed like NANOLESS was actually getting hardcore attacked, same with RimaEvenstar, all based on their, well, just existing in the SINDER situation. So let's go break it down, talk about why it's bad, talk about what's going on, and as well, just, I guess, try to bring the parasocialism down a little bit. And of course, subscribe if you guys want to, put in the notifications for the next 2 days. We'll probably have a lot of videos. And of course, I didn't mention I have a giveaway going on for the main channel, but it's the same for here too. If you guys want to check that out, link down below. So there has been some intriguing stuff. As you guys know, NANOLESS made her statement and kind of went out. And it was kind of mixed reception. I think most people are in the same boat as me. There was a pretty big accountability that NANOLESS had to take, and she did kind of mess up. There was some back and forth. But so did SINDER, and so did other people, and blah, blah, blah. We've kind of gone over that. But one thing I want to note and kind of push a lot is that these are real people. And obviously there is some pettiness to it and some entertainment aspect of it with them being VTubers, content creators, but some people have definitely taken things way too far. Personal attacks, threats, or as well writing massive paragraphs for reading, 1,000-page documents out there to kind of give their opinions. And I do want to say, if you see NANOLESS, and this is kind of weird I even have to say this on a video, I have been a Twitch partner for 13 years, and I've only been doing this YouTube drama on this channel for 3 weeks. I don't know what I'm really doing, I'll be honest. But you have to remember these are real people. When you're discussing these things in these situations, things can get rough. And this viewer right here went a little off the rockers. So I believe from my context, as RimaEvenstar is kind of like a drama YouTuber as well. I think I've seen her tweets in passing, and they seem, I don't want to say cool, I don't really know them. But, they're making content, doing what they gotta go and do. This one viewer, and we've seen some other folks, kind of go viral on calling them out. Saying, hey, RimaEvenstar, what was up with that in your stream? I understand that we may disagree on some aspects of the drama, but that was a bit too rude, no? I was in your chat politely and civilly discussing things with the other chatters. No insults, no arguments, no harassment. Just talking things with chat and commenting on what you were talking about. And they were going over the SINDER and NANOLESS and all this drama. NANOLESS was in the channel. Today was the very first time I actually directly interacted with you and your Twitch channel too, which I genuinely regret now considering the treatment I received completely unrevoked. Out of nowhere, you started insulting me, calling me a schizo, a harasser, and a rat, and then you banned me when I clearly didn't break any of your chat rules. Feel very much chat history yourself. And over what? A single tweet from months ago that nobody remembers of that you featured in a video that was mild as all hell that you labeled as harassment, or just because I criticized a couple of your videos a few times in the past. By the way, was trying any personal insults, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Kind of making these kind of comments out here going a little bit bigger too as well. And for this one, they just keep on mentioning this and calling stuff on out and trying to be like, hey, you're trying to throw your clients under the bus and trying to climb victim over here, and I'm sure you'll reach 200K in no time. In all of these comments, this person went kind of on the big end too as well. We're seeing some massive people critiquing this Rima person, massive everything. Now, do I agree with the critiques? No. I don't, I'll be honest with you, as a streamer, if I see someone in my Twitch chat, I have thousands of people watching. I get 30, 50 if I'm lucky. I love my viewers, we're yapping. But even then, for me as a partner, sometimes it takes a little bit of effort, And this is also why someone maybe want to ban you on from a chat. Because if you go and you have them banned and you go and have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 paragraph response, multiple tweets all thrown on in here, that is bonkers. So from I actually had a chance to go and see from what I kind of looked in this a little bit, but the high level for this all is don't forget there's people like, say, NANOLESS, even SINDER, Red, if you ever run into them, which I don't think you probably will, most realistically. But these are real people. And the parasocialism side for it is it's going to happen. It's happened for me. Like, I'm making these videos and critiquing these people on their actions. Like, I'm kind of feeding into the beast, so to say. But from what I've seen is that these people were making comments when NANOLESS was actually in the channel. And as well, NANOLESS itself was involved. Like, correct me if I'm wrong. This is what I saw from like other various posts I'll put together. And you have to remember that people like NANOLESS may have done things wrong, but it doesn't mean you have to like scrutinize them. The second you tweet, you don't have to call them out per se. You don't have to go and send them angry emails, show up at a TwitchCon and harass them. Like any of these types of weird behaviors that are way too parasocial. Yeah, there is some stakes at this, say for SINDER, where she may have lost a lot of money, might lose fans, we'll see by tomorrow. Or even things like, say, Bao and Silvervale. They lost models, they lost connections, they lost hype streams. And yeah, that isn't the end of the world, but it still hurts them, yes. Or NANOLESS right now has like the public perception kind of low, which is why some of these people, are maybe discussing them or going a little bit more in depth on these conversations or whatever it might be. But at the end of the day, to kind of give like Rima a little bit of an alley-oop here from someone who's been streaming for a long time, as people might get heated on them, whether they're going too hardcore in these discussions, which it is like people want to have their opinions heard, which is why I always encourage people to leave their comments down below. But these things, although they might be like valid comments or normal perception, if you're streaming, it's very hard to dissect someone who's making these massive arguments, and it may come from bad faith. Like sometimes it's just the vibe check isn't there. You just want to ban them and get rid of them. And like I keep mentioning from what we had a chance to go and see, apparently this was all more regards now to some of the nano things too as well. And on top of that, that is not a little bit more on the rougher end. So people have called up the logs too, and like you see this is one. Let me try to highlight the nano comment. I once called out Nano in a reply, and I told her to not try throwing more customers underneath the bus, which is pretty on point to be fair. Got featured on a video of her for once as an example for harassment. Does that count? And this is where things get interesting. Because as I mentioned, do I think Nano herself threw things underneath the bus? Like kind of hurt these clients and did things wrong? Yes. Yes. But I'm also, if I see this person in public, I'm not going to go up to them and be like, hey, you're a loser. Hey, you're just throwing everyone underneath the bus. There's a time and a place. And I can understand that some people maybe in like the, I guess the anti-them discussions we see on this channel. Like, I don't even want to say this person's opinions or thoughts or feelings are wrong. Because, whatever, maybe you're right. Maybe you're chill, maybe you're right. But the issue is, and I'm sure any streamer would probably appreciate, like a VTuber or whatever. If you have someone in your chat and you have a friend or colleague or even they're lurking or whatever it might be, you probably don't want them to be harassed because you don't know when it stops. You don't know what, like, with their true intentions. You don't know if they're even mentally stable. And let's say I go in a Twitch chat, you go in a Twitch chat, and someone instantly says, hey man, how about you stop screwing over all your clients? That's somewhat toxic at the end of the day. Like, even if you're right, and I think they're kind of right, but it's one of those comments where it's like, you could either be an asshole and right, like you could be both. You could be right, but also an asshole. It's kind of how you present yourself. It's like being cocky. It's like being like you have an ego. It's like rubbing it in your face. It's, sometimes, let's say someone messes up one time and then you bring it up for the next 10 months straight. It's obnoxious. And it's not about the act. Like, it's not about your thoughts being wrong. It's about the fact that you are writing, like, the second you get banned in this channel, you go and write paragraphs after paragraphs. And some people actually agreed with them, saying that, like, Rima's content wasn't that good. There's a public opinions as well, and it's called feedback. But there is, I think, a certain level to it. Like, these are not wrong takes. I think people should always have accountability, should always be fine. But once again, like someone like NANOLESS, someone like SINDER, all these people involved, they are real people. And going into Twitch channels or YouTubes, or even say if SINDER goes and streams tomorrow, or the next time Shylily goes and streams, you shouldn't be harassing these people. Like, they are all adults. If they need to handle it legally, they can. If they need to go and handle it in private, which hopefully all happens, they can. If they just want to move on and be silent about it all at the end of the day too as well, that's also fine. And sometimes these content creators who cover this drama and stuff, which might be myself too, one thing I always hope is if you guys watch my channel, you guys will be very, like, emotionally stable people, please. Be chill. I don't mind if you guys hold me accountable. Just don't be, like, creepy, parasocial weird. And none of you guys have seen so far. So thank you for all the subscribers who have joined a part so far. And same with my Twitch stream. Everyone's always fantastic. But there is a certain thing where if you take things too far and things get a little too hardcore, this is where it's meant to be banned. It's meant to be chill. And, you know, if you're harassing someone like NANOLESS, just don't. Like, yes, they may have messed up. Yes, you can hold them accountable. But, you know, there's a time and a place. Like, you see them in public, you see them in a Twitch chat, maybe don't do that. Maybe when Cinder streams, don't be insanely mean. Maybe Shelley comes and joins, like a channel or whatever streams, don't be like obsessive. And it's kind of weird I have to say this, but I've been seeing this more in like this world, especially when it comes to the Cinder vibe. So just be chill. You know, I'm just trying to give a little, this Rima person an alley-oop to say that, hey, sometimes it is a little much. Like, it's hard to be a streamer. Sometimes it's hard to do things right. I don't know them, but I understand. So shout out to them. They'll probably never see this video, but shout out to them. And just, you know, for this whole situation, like, yes, we're involved. Yes, there's emotions everywhere. Yeah, there's opinions back and forth, but always try to keep yourself pretty chill. You know, I don't say it's for fun because it's a serious situation for a lot of this, but it's meant to be like, it's like petty level drama. It's not like something bad. It's not like a bank robbery. It's not like someone, you know, like did something crazy. This is bad. Like, there is bad things here in friendship ending stuff. Yes. But just always remember, take a breath, you know, like not everything has to be online. Sometimes it's okay to, you know, dissect it normally, and you don't always have to write 15-page books. Coming from me, who made a YouTube video on it, but still, you know what I mean. Anyway, I appreciate you guys all so much for watching. I'll be very curious to see how Cinder goes tomorrow on her launch. That's gonna be a lot. That's gonna be a lot. And this is just a bonus video for me on this channel. I just felt like yapping. I appreciate you guys all so much for watching. Subscribe if you guys want to, especially for the next 2 days, and the giveaway down below. And I appreciate you guys all for being here.